Now it starts.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fatimah Oguntola. I'm an intern at Virtual Assistants Nigeria, and today I'll be walking you through the understanding the basics of graphic design. Okay, the next slide is an overview of graphic design, and we're going to be diving into introduction to graphic design. Okay, now when we talk about graphic design is coined from two words. It's a combination of two words, which are graphics and also design. According to dictionary, graphics mean visuals. That is what you can see. While design means when you create or when you organize something based on rules and some fundamental principles. Now, from the two words, I'll be defining graphic design as a visual organization and the presentation of an information that is developed through creative process according to some rules in order to communicate and convey message. Now, I want to talk about graphic design. As a designer, your major aim is to communicate. If you're not communicating, then you're not a designer. Whatever it is you are designing as a designer should be able to catch the attention of the audience. You should be able to pass message. Because in some cases, you may not be able to pass message with words. But as a graphic designer, you should be able to pass your messages using graphics, such as images, colors, logos, and so on. So according to Google, graphic design has to do with the art and practice of planning and projecting ideas and also experiencing the visual and textual context. Graphic design as a course actually has to do with you conveying messages to your audience using visuals. That is what they can see. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Okay, so as a graphic designer, there are some principles that you must follow. If not, you'll not be able to pass messages. Like I said, that's to do with you conveying messages to the audience, grabbing their attention and telling them what to do. So as a graphic designer, there are some principles you must obey. And here are some highlighted principles that I'll just be summarizing. We have balance. As a graphic designer, there must be balance in your design. An example is what I displayed on this slide. If you look at the slide we have on this, if you look at the graphic design, the flyer we have on this slide, you will see that there is a balance in the design. We have some that are, when we talk about balancing, it has to do with you weighing objects. That is using a big object with a smaller object, or using a smaller one with a bigger one. Not two big ones at the same time. Just like if you want to scale your you want to have what we call balance, and you want to put two objects on the scale, it has to be a bigger one and a smaller one at the same time on the scale. If not, it will collapse. As a graphic designer, you should be able to balance your design. Then contrast. It has to do with you using, like when we talk about color as a graphic designer, there should be your color should be contrasting. You should use a lighter color on a darker one, or a darker one on a, like you can't design using yellow and blue, because there are two light colors. It's either you use yellow and black or white and black. You can see there are two different colors that can, like, they can harmonize with themselves. We have hierarchy. Hierarchy has to do with you giving preference. When it comes to design, you're giving preference to a particular text or objects in a design. We have alignment. Alignment has to do, we have three types of alignment. We have the center alignment, we have the right alignment, and we have the left alignment. It has to do with you giving placing objects or arranging them based on how they should come out, arranging them in a way that it will capture the attention of the audience, not just displaying them on the design without giving without following the principle. The next one is emphasis. Now, I want to talk about emphasis. If you look at some designs, or if you look at this design, for example, you can see some are in bold bold fonts, while some are in light fonts. That's what we call emphasis. That you giving a particular text or image audience more than the rest or more than others. Then repetition. Now you are as a graphic designer, you should repeat either color or font. You shouldn't just use different fonts. It is advised as a graphic designer, if you want to use a font, you shouldn't use more than 3 fonts in your design. If you are using 4, 5 fonts, then it will not give a kind of eye-catching result. You will not be able to pass the message, and moreover, it will kind of blind the audience that are reading the flyer or design you have created. Then there should be harmony in your design. That is, you should be able to harmonize with each other. Like yellow should go with white, with the black rather, then and so on like that. Then we have negative or white spacing. In every design, it's not a must you cover the whole design with object and text. There should be space, because it's some in some text you see some write negative space, some will just write space, some write white, and so on like that. So there should be spaces in your design. It will so as not to bombard your readers. Then proportion. From the word proportion, you should be able to like balance what's it called, your design in such a way that the readers will be able to get the messages you are trying to pass across. And your design should be a kind of you should, when you are designing, you should consider user experience, not just your own. No, don't say because you are okay with the design, then you should others should also be able to consider your audience while designing. Next slide. Now we have the fundamentals of graphic design. We have so many fundamentals when it comes to graphic designing, but I'll only be highlighting 6 of them, which are very, very important. They are core when it comes to graphic design. We have line. Line can be a shape that connects 2 or more points. We have different types of line. We have the curved lines, we have the vertical, we have the curvy, we have the straight, we have the dashed, and so on. It can it can also be zigzag. Then we have text also. Text is also a fundamental of graphic design, because there is no graphic design without you writing the text. That is, either you are calling people to do something or to perform an action. So a text can be a written character that you are using to express an unspoken words. Then we have shapes. We have different shapes. We have shapes such as square, triangle, square, circle. A shape is any 2-dimensional area with recognizable boundary. Then we have form. Now, when it comes to graphic design, we have different forms. We have pyramid, we have cylinder, we have cone. These are the fundamentals of graphic design. We can also call them the graphic design elements. We can also call them elements of graphic design. We have texture. Texture has to do with the way you feel something or the way you perceive it. Then we have color. Color has to do with the attribute of things that result from light that they emit. Like I talked about color when I was talking about the element of the principles of graphic design. Your color should harmonize with your design. A color, for example, every brand has our own color rather. We have colors. A color talks about a brand. It is unique to you as a brand. It sells you as a brand. Next slide. Okay, we have different types of graphic design. We have the visual identity. From the word visual identity, it has to talk about, like I talked about color. As a graphic designer or as a brand owner, you should have your own identity. So when they see you, they'll know this is so. For example, Nike. We all know Nike. There is a particular logo, on that once you see that check mark, you know this is nice brand, Nike brand. Virtual assistant, for example, the unique color that I've noticed is the green and the yellow. So those are the visual identity under graphic design. We have the marketing and advertising. We can also use graphic design as an advertising or for an advertising or marketing strategy. Then we have the web and app design. We have the packaging design. Every brand has their own what's it called? Every brand has their own they have their own packaging design templates that they follow. The next one is motion graphics. That one falls under animation. Like as an animator, you should be able to design, and you should be able to mix color. Then the next one is editorial design. These ones, they deal with publishing firms, newspaper, and so on. Now, I'll be showing you difference between, if you look at this slide, we have the bad design and the good design. The one, if I may ask, now from this design, I would like to call on Doreen. Please, can you tell me which of these design is a bad one and which one is a good one based on what you can see?
All right, the one on the left looks way too much and busy, so I would call that a bad design. At least it's not pleasing to me. And then the one on the right, I would say, is very pleasant to look at, so I would call that the good design.
Okay, very good. Yes, that's actually right. If like when we talk about the principles of graphic design, I talked about balance, I talked about spacing, I talked about alignment. If you look at the one on the left, that did not follow the principles of graphic design. While the one on the right actually follow the principle of graphic design, because if you look at it, there are some empty spaces that are not filled. Like I said, not every space must be filled because you want to, maybe because you want to suit your client or because you want them to know, oh, I'm a good graphic designer. You don't have to bombard the whole canvas when it comes to designing. So the one on the right, like you said, is the good design, while the one on the left is the bad design. Okay, now when it comes to designing, as a designer, there are different tools you can use. And I classify them into two tools. We have the hardware tools. That's one that can easily be touched or feel. And we have the software tools. Those are the ones that cannot be touched, although can be seen, but you cannot touch them. Now, for the hardware tools, like I said, it can be touched. So we have some examples such as your paper and pens and pen. As a designer, the first thing you should know, you should be able to do is after you have made your research, you should be able to craft what you have, your idea. We call it ideation or sketching. You should be able to, you put down in a pen and paper what you want to design before picking your software. You can't just say, oh, I want to design something. You just start designing without having a clear vision. So as a designer, you must have some hardware tools and some software tools that you use. So like I said, we have pen and paper, we have computer, we have stylus, we have graphics tablet, and we have our smartphone. You can also use our smartphone to design. Now for the software, we have different softwares. As a designer, you don't have to be familiar with all the softwares, but at least if you should be familiar, if you are familiar with one or two, you are good to go. So far, you are very, very, like you're 100% good at it. But they say whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing one. If you want to be using Canva for your graphic design, let your design be a kind of, be familiar with all the features on Canva. If you want to use Figma or Corel Draw, there are so many design tools. Just pick one or two and try to familiarize yourself with it and make sure you are good at what you are doing. Now, we have the real-world application. Where can graphic design be applied? It can be applied in branding, like I said, as an organization, people know you for who you are. If you see, for example, the first sample I showed, the further picture is an apple. You know, oh, whenever it's something like this is an Apple product. Then we have social media. We have publications. We have website design, and we have product packaging. So we can apply graphic design in all of these worlds. Okay, now career pathway. There are different careers or job opportunities that you can see as a graphic designer. You can either be a graphic designer, you can be a creative director, you can be a UX designer. That has to do with those that deal with the user experience interface when it comes to either website designing or so. Then we have the user interface, we have the production artists. Those one deals with they deal with movies. If you look at if you watch some movies sometime, you see where after the movie has ended, the right production manager, production artists, and so like they are the one that produce costumes, and they are the one that make up for the movie actress or actors, for them to to appear nice to the audience. Then we have the product developer. Those ones are the ones that they design products for a brand. We have the art director, we have the multimedia artists, or you can call them animator. They are the ones that use objects like either animals or human to capture the attention of their audience. Then we have a freelancer. You can also work as a freelancer if you're a graphic designer. Then the one I'll be if you look at this, I have a call to action there. Lewin's biggest piece of advice for every designer is that you should never settle in a role you are not happy with. As a graphic designer, you should be happy with what you are doing. You should focus on what inspires you. If you know you are not satisfied, maybe a client give you a job to work on and you're not satisfied either with the color combination that the client has given you, you can advise them to try to adjust. And if they don't take to the advice, then I will advise based on this quote that I shouldn't work with search, because it will the first thing they will ask with the designer, and it can actually put a kind of tag on your own reputation as a graphic designer. Next slide. Okay, in conclusion, design is intelligence made visible. That's a quote by Alina Wheeler. When you talk about designing is more than aesthetic. It has to do with creativity. You trying to influence strategic tools, using perception, building trust, and driving results. So as a graphic designer, you should be able to carry up to convey messages to your audience. Not just, like I said, not just designing because you are okay with it. You should consider your audience, those that will look at what you have designed. Oh, will this design go well with people? Is it eye-catching? How is the user interface? How is the experience? Is it okay for me to throw into the world out there? So as a designer, you should consider all this before you design. Thanks for your time. If you, this on this slide, last slide, I have some of my work that I have worked on. The first one is the one that we did at Virtual Assistant Nigeria as a project, and the next one is the one I did for a client. Thank you for your time. I'll be willing to answer questions if there is any, and if not, do have a great day. Thank you.